Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Accelerators panel with Startup America. We are thrilled you're here today, and you've got a great group of speakers. And before we get started, though, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Jean Elliott. I work for Microsoft, and it's been a great pleasure to be a sponsor of Startup America for the last 2 years. If you haven't met the team, you really should. They're a pretty wild and crazy crew. And it was a natural fit for us because every day we work with startups in over 100 countries around the world through our BizSpark program. If you're a startup that's less than 5 years old, less than $1 million in revenue, and privately held, please don't buy software from us. Please join the BizSpark program. Over 50,000 companies are currently active in it. We've got 30,000 alumni. So again, Microsoft.com/BizSpark, please go and join that program. It's absolutely free of charge for you. I love the topic of accelerators today because we've actually been learning a lot about those ourselves, both from a collaboration that we've got running right now with Techstars in Seattle. So if you're not familiar with the Azure Accelerator, and we actually did a great Connect Accelerator last year too. You can use your favorite search engine to learn a little bit about those. And we've also got accelerators in Bangalore, Tel Aviv, and Beijing that are through our research and development labs. And some of you may also be familiar with the Bing Fund. So with that, I am going to get off the stage and hand it over to a much more interesting group of people. And I'd like to introduce Pat Riley, who's going to introduce the panel. Thanks.
Great. Thank you very much. Give her a hand. Actually, have a microphone. So this is William. And William, before this, came to me and he said, Pat, I've been really lonely. I've been kind of sad while I've been here. And I haven't had enough love. So he said, I really want to start off the panel with everybody hugging one another. So he said, really, if we can get up and give everybody 2 hugs, this would be really good. And this is not me, this is William. So everybody needs to get up and give each other hugs.
All right. Okay. How's it going?
I'm sorry, I personally know how awkward that is for the room, but it wasn't me, it's all William. So I'm really sorry about that. So I'm Patrick Riley.
Later on the side too.
So I'm Patrick Riley. I'm the Executive Director of the Global Accelerator Network. We're a network of the top 10% accelerators around the world who all follow a short-term mentorship-driven accelerator model. Everyone here is also following that very similar model. I'm going to have you guys introduce yourselves.
Sure. My name is William Su. Call me Will. I'm a partner and co-founder of MuckerLab. We are an accelerator based in LA. We launched about 18 months ago, and it's been quite a ride since. We produced about 18 companies. Our first class graduated in April of last year. Collectively, they raised about $60 million out of the 8 companies and funded by all the major top-tier VCs in the Valley. So we've been very proud of our track record thus far, but I'm trying to set the bar lower the next time.
Great. Give William a hand. Those are great stats. All right, Jim.
Hi, I'm Jim Jen. I'm the managing director of AlphaLab in Pittsburgh, based in Pittsburgh, PA. We run twice a year, so we have a program that starts in the winter and the summer, and we're also taking applications right now for our summer class. And our model is a 20-week program, mentorship-driven, and also provide $25,000 investment to the companies. And we started in 2008, and some of our notable alumni companies include Black Locust, which was recently acquired by Home Depot, as well as The Resumator, No Wait, and Shoefitter. So a few companies that hopefully you've heard of.
That's great. Big hand for Jim. And Gabriella.
I'm Gabriella Draney, co-founder and CEO of Tech Wildcatters in Dallas, Texas. We're a Forbes Top 10 accelerator, but we do only B2B, so you might not have ever heard of us. We give $25,000 to each of our teams. Our spring class just started last week, so we have 11 teams in that class. Pretty exciting. And we're starting a healthcare accelerator in the fall, so if anybody's looking in the healthcare space, there's a lot of investor interest there, so it's a fun space to play in. Started in 2009, had our first class go through 2010, and we've started having exits, which is really nice. Keyring you might have heard of if you have the rewards app on your phone. They sold a Gannett last year, and we've got some other fun ones that are closing in the next couple months. So,
that's great. Nice work. All right, so the way we're going to do this is for about 15, 20 minutes, we're going to ask these MDs questions about their accelerator. how they operate, what do they do, and what does it look like for founders to get into these accelerators, and what kind of founders they're looking for. And then from there, we're going to have a bunch of the Startup Next groups come in. As many of you know, there's been a really good Startup Next program that's been running here at Startup America. So we're going to have their teams come in, as well as other founders, actually pitch to these managing directors and get their feedback directly about would those founders get into these accelerators and why or why not. So that'll be really fun. So the first question is, I'm going to go over to Gabriella. Everyone's trying to figure out, and we'll move down the line with this. Everyone's trying to figure out what do accelerators do and why are they being so successful. So from your perspective, why are accelerators, how does your accelerator operate and why is it being so successful?
Yeah, so it's education and connection for the most part. We actually heavily focus on revenue. So we're trying to get you into customers and actually sell stuff. And funding, of course, that it depends on how you want to grow your company. So then, of course, we also connect to investors. But we really concentrate on who are the right types of investors for you. Or do you even really need to take investment? So we aren't the, hey, only VC is the only way to go kind of group. Although I think about 40% of our companies get tier 1 VC investing.
That's great. Jim?
I think in terms of how our accelerator, how we operate, I think the key thing is, over 20 weeks, we have a structure, and we're really trying to push the companies to make progress each week. And the whole experience, Accelerate, is to help them get in front of as many people, whether it's mentors, investors, customers, as quickly as possible. And we also have many sort of group reviews where, again, the companies are also pushing each other. So I think that's the important part of it, as well as the education and the mentorship. And so I think that's one of the things that we've done. And I think part of our philosophy also is to really not tell the companies what to do. It's their companies, and they have to figure it out, but is to try to put them in front of as many people to give them the advice and guidance so that they can make the decisions for growing their company.
My partners and I came from the operating background. We've been entrepreneurs. We've been executives at Fortune 10 companies, and we've been VCs. So the main way we look at our participation in the companies that we help is think of us as your temporary co-founders for the 3 to 6 months you're working with us. And that means we're responsible for everything that makes your company run, right? That means build a great product, get really satisfied customers, get revenue, get product market fit, and of course, fundraising. Now, I always say fundraising is the side effect of having a great company. So even though we do have a decent track record of helping companies get funded, in the reality and how this game plays is focus on your customers, focus on your users, build a great product, get people to love you, and the VC will see through all the bullshit, and they will fund you. And that's what we do.
That's great. So there's a lot of ways you three are helping founders, but the question is, what type of founders are you actually looking for to get into your accelerator? And I'll go to you first. So what type of founders are you looking for to join your accelerator?
Sure. The type of founder we're looking for is really not a type of founder. We're looking at the team, and we're looking for teams that can execute on an idea in a very lean way through the beginning to the early stage of product market fit. So typically that means you have a person that is a sales guy. Now, whether they're called a CEO, a CTO, or COO, I don't really give a shit. Right? It's someone that can really sell and provide the vision and visualism for the company. Someone that can execute on the product side, right? So that means UX, BD, and design, right? And then really someone that can actually build the product, whatever that might be. Something that's a nice checkbox is if you have domain experience, great. If you have funded a company in the past and sold that's great too. You have millions of dollars in the bank account and you fund it yourself, that's all great. But the first 3 portion, that's really not negotiable, because in the end, what you want to do is you want to get to product market fit without having less and less runway in your business. So you need to have people, founders that are willing to provide sweat equity to really build the business until you can get to product market fit.
I think Will captured that well, and that's a lot of our philosophy, especially the ability to execute on the product, especially in that early stages where we're iterating and you're getting in front of customers to understand that market fit. I think the other thing I'd add to that is, we're really looking for the founders that have a vision for what their company is going to be, what the market they're going after, and really a point of view on what they're going to do to really change that. And I think that's very important because that vision is going to guide them as they go through all the ups and downs, and including everyone telling them they're wrong, you should do this, you should do that, and really having sort of that compass to kind of stay focused.
So exactly what these guys said. But we also look, so to figure out if somebody really can take a project and do something with it and iterate and basically be persistent, we like to see that they've actually done a project before. Are you contributing to open source sites and stuff? What else are you doing? Show me something you've done, that you've built, that you've taken somewhere, even if it failed. I don't care if it failed. What did you learn from it? So that's really important. And then as we're on our 5th class now, and we've found that group dynamic is extremely important between all the startups because they help each other as much as the mentors do, if not more. Our alumni network is extremely wonderful about hooking up, any of their partners with the new class, which is fantastic. So we look for that willingness to, help out the other teams and hang out and enjoy being a group.
That's good.
Yeah.
So we heard a lot about these characteristics of companies that we want, that you're looking for. But tell me about the stage of companies. So are you looking for ideation phase? Are you looking for something a little bit further along? And also, too, what should these companies be doing to show you that they're really serious in your accelerator? We'll start with Gabriella.
Okay, so we'll take anything from idea all the way up to, we have plenty of companies that came in with significant revenue and even funding. Now, if it's somebody that just has an idea, I want to see that you really have executed on something before. Are you a second-time entrepreneur? Why are you coming to us? Or that you already have a customer ready to go and just chomping at the bit for your product. And then the ones that are into revenue, it tends to be, okay, let's just take this and just turn it on. We'll just plug you right into a sales channel. So yeah, every stage. And there was a second part to the question?
So it was stage, and what should companies be doing to prove to you that they're serious in your accelerator?
Prove that they're serious about my accelerator specifically. Just know something about us. You know what? If you come to me and say, this is what I want from you, I want you to use me. I have a huge network, and I want you to absolutely suck it dry. So talk to me about all the big companies in Dallas. Hey, I want to talk to Frito-Lay, 7-Eleven, American Airlines. Okay, here you go. You're plugged in. Don't just be like, oh, well, if you could introduce me to somebody, that'd be great. No, in a startup, you've got to be asking more than everybody else. So that's what really gets me excited is when they're just like, yeah, give me.
That's great. Jim?
I think from a stage standpoint, also ideation to early product and early revenue. And we've taken companies with those. I think one way we look at companies is there's sort of 3 dimensions that we focus on. I mean, team, kind of where you're at from a stage standpoint, and that product market fit, the idea, the problem you're solving. And so what we really look to see is that really on 2 of those 3 dimensions that you stand out. And so therefore, if you are at the just idea stage, then if you've got a great team as well as the idea is pretty compelling for the market, those are things we look at. I think things that stand out to us is often you always hear passion, and that's important. I think a specific example is we're really trying to get a sense that, boy, this team is just going to keep knocking it down, without us. And so if we didn't take them into AlphaLab, they would just keep going. And then the other thing is that you can see that they're continuing to make progress as you engage with them, whether it's when they fill out the application, when they come in for interviews. And so the company, every time when we meet with them, if the company is actually continue to move forward, that's a really strong sign for us.
For us, we like to say that we will take an entrepreneur with a napkin all the way to something that's a pre-product market fit. In the middle, there are lagging indicators like funding, employee, and sometimes even revenue that's actually not true product market fit. We have situations where venture capitalists put in a couple $1 million and then put them into MuckerLab because they really feel like they need our guidance in an area where we have specific expertise in, right? So for us, it's really all about the business and what stage you're in. And any time before you have hit the hockey stick, we think we can help. Now, from the how you can kind of stand out from the application process, for us, the application process is more of a back and forth. We actually give pretty detailed homework once we meet the companies after the first time. And the homework is sometimes literally homework, go build a better model than the one you showed me. Another time it is, I'm going to introduce you to 3 guys, and you better close 1 out of those 3 deals if you want to be in the accelerator, right? And if you don't get in, I still helped you get 1 or 2 or 3 deals. So hopefully, that's karma made for all of us, right? So for us, it's really just like everyone said about execution and us giving you a little bit taste of what we can help you with and seeing how fast and how passionate do you really capture that opportunity. And we do that through quote-unquote homework assignments.
Great. All right, 2 more questions, and then we'll have the teams come up. So the next question is, teams are giving up a lot of equity to come to your accelerator. And they're usually, I think everybody here is 6%. Is that right? 6% equity? 4 to 5% for AlphaLabs. So what are they getting in return for this? And what are you really doing in terms of coaching them on business development, doing mentorship, getting connections to investors? How does that play out in your accelerator?
Sure. I like to tell an entrepreneur that whether I give you $20,000 or not is not the issue. The issue here is when you join MuckerLab and after you leave MuckerLab, is your company worth more than twice as much as you entered?
Hold that up too.
Anytime it's less than twice, you come talk to me, I'll give you back your equity, right? Because accelerators should view their customers as their entrepreneurs. If we're not 100% referenceable, if our entrepreneurs don't love us and feel like this is a lifetime network, almost like a guild in the brotherhood of a sisterhood of muckers, then we haven't done our job, right? So we like to think that we add more than 6%, and ideally we add twice as much value. What's the second part of the question?
That was the question.
Okay.
As Will said, we also talk to the founders that view us as a co-founder, and so what you're getting for the 5% is access to our network, the program, the mentorship, as well as the investment. In fact, when we talk to entrepreneurs, we really talk about the money last. And I think the ways we help them along those is, one thing I didn't mention earlier is we are also connected. We came from a seed fund. So we have a seed fund that's associated with our program. And the companies in that seed fund have collectively raised well over $1 billion in funding and 160 companies. So really, we're able to tap into that network of the investors that have also invested alongside us in those deals. So I think that's one way we help on the funding front. And then really with the business development and the other aspects, it's through the mentorship program and putting them also in the situations where they're also learning that for themselves.
So I usually don't even try on this conversation. I'm like, if you don't see the value, you don't see the value. But what I do is I say, go talk to one of our alum teams. Yeah. Go talk to one that wasn't successful, and go talk to one that was successful. And I want you to ask them any question. Just be open, and I tell the guys, just be completely honest. But so when a new class starts, and we just had orientation last week, I tell them it's a lot like college. You can look to the side and somebody's got, not that part. More around, you go to a university and there are tons of resources. But it's up to you to basically go and make use of those resources and build your network and engage. And so there aren't grades in startups, but there are. The grades are in the form of checks. So in the end, it's up to you. Again, take advantage of what's there. The staff can't do everything for you. It's still your startup. You're still the ones that have to execute. And in 3 months, you're gone. And that wonderful, nice little cozy place like your college is gone, and you're out in the real world. So we do try to prepare you guys for that, our teams for that, by saying, get out there. You've got everything at your fingertips. Take advantage of it.
Great. All right, the final question is, we'll do this pretty quick, is what other accelerator would you recommend that founders go to that's not on this panel? So we'll start with you and work our way down.
Okay.
Well, obviously, Techstars. I love those guys. Let's see. It depends on the kind of company you are. And that's what I always coach people on is, what regions do you think you'll be in, but also, what is it that you really need the most? Are you a B2B company? Are you a consumer company that needs to go to like 500 startups and just get tons of attention from investors over there?
Great. Jim?
Yeah, I think an important point of this is understanding the fit for kind of not only kind of what type of startup you are, but what type of experience do you want to have? Because I know people that have applied to us, they told us they did the research and they were looking for certain things. So some startups, some accelerators take we only take 6 companies. Others take many more than that. So that's important. I think. Clearly, Techstars and Y Combinator, everyone knows about them. I think 2 others that that come to mind for me. One is the Brandery in Cincinnati. They have a very strong consumer branding focus. And then Beta Spring in Providence. I think they've been up and running for numerous years, have a lot of respect for the team there.
Great. William.
The companies that are most successful in the end are those that do not need an accelerator, right? So I always tell entrepreneurs, make MuckerLab your last choice and make me chase you and make me prove to you that I can help build your company. So in that context, don't do an accelerator would be my actual advice, right? And then work backwards from there.
But if you had to pick one.
I'll pick Techstars in Denver because Patrick is there.
Yeah.
I'm in the office.
All
right, so let's do this. Let's have the startup weekend next guys come up. We're going to have them do 1-minute pitches. We actually have a timer, too, from what I hear. Oh, yeah, please. And we'll let Eric. So Eric's running Startup Weekend Next program, has been the guy who's spearheading this effort. If you could just give some quick little tidbits about what you guys are doing.
Really quick, 3 weeks ago, a few of us, Patrick, the guys from Techstars, Startup Weekend, and Startup America came together and said, can we build a little mini accelerator to help teams get ready for you guys? So Steve Blank, Bob Dorff, Noah Kagan, Dan Martell, a bunch of mentors helped select 10 teams, and over the last 3 days, they went on a boot camp. And we beat them up, hurt them hard, and the top 5 teams are here presenting to you guys today. So very exciting program. Next is a great way to help accelerate programs, combination of all those organizations. Patrick's people are amazing, and it's a great way to help those companies get ready. So 5 teams, they're going to give their pitch, and congratulations, you guys. Over 600 interviews of customers over the last 3 days out of these guys. So Steve Blank's Get Out of the Building is live and well. So thanks.
60. I heard 60. You heard 90?
What do they want?
It's 60 now. The boss says 60.
Like the VC meeting that just got shortened in half.
How about this? How about you go over there and kind of like face everybody this way? Yeah.
Okay, this works. Hi, I'm Dustin. Is there a timer or something?
Got it. You're 10 seconds in. Let's go. Just kidding.
So really, this started over the past 7 years, having worked in global marketing at P&G and having conducted research across 40 countries. We've learned that there's one thing that's most important to brands. It's the ability to create rich experiences for their consumers. Yet, unfortunately, a scalable experiential marketing program does not exist, leaving billions of marketing dollars on the table. So that's why we created Life Profit. This is a mobile platform that enables brands to inspire their consumers with ideas for getting rich experiences throughout the day. So, for example, Coca-Cola might give you the idea of eating dinner left-handed with your family and the experience that comes from that. Or Crest might say, hey, there's laughing yoga just around the corner from you. And really, it's an opportunity for brands to create memorable experiences. And when consumers act on those experiences, Life Profit collects revenue in the form of pay-per-performance. What brands get out of it is passionate consumers that they otherwise wouldn't be able to reach with banner ads and billboards alone. So we've already gone through concept testing with hundreds of participants and in-market trials, and we brought together a list of brands that have already expressed interest in running a pilot with us, including P&G, 3M. Okay.
Cool. All right. So the question is after you heard this pitch from the company, would you accept them into your accelerator? Why or why not? And what positive and constructive feedback would you have for them? Start with Gabriella.
Okay. So I guess the biggest thing is I don't know anything about the team other than it sounds like you guys have brand experience, which is really good. So I would just want to make sure that you've got 2 or more full-time co-founders, and really. Oh, hey, you got a few. All right. So I just want to know more about the team and get to know you guys a little bit more. But that's definitely the type of thing that's up our alley. So.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jim.
I would have loved for you to have kind of said exactly your company name and what you do right from the beginning, so I could kind of have a frame of reference. You were getting to it when you got cut off about you're starting to talk about you're getting my interest when you start talking about okay, we've got these the pilots or an engagement, and I was waiting for you to say, and here's the benefit we've proven, or here's the ROI, whatever. I felt like that would have really done it, as well as hearing more about the team.
Super. Thank you.
Brand advertisers typically look for significant reach in the marketing activities they do. Otherwise, it's out of their kind of experimental budget, right? So for this business to really scale we need millions and millions and tens of millions of users, right? So my concern here would be what's your indigenous customer acquisition strategy, and how you're going to create the viral loop that's going to help grow word of mouth digitally.
Yeah. Can I answer? Or?
Feel free to give a 30-second answer.
Sure. So the focus is on this being an engagement platform. So this is a tool that brands can use to engage their existing consumer base. So it's not a new user acquisition strategy, but how do they provide that to their existing users in a more meaningful way that drives that loyalty, that drives that repeat, that drives that advocacy.
Great.
Yeah.
Let's give him a hand. Great job.
Good afternoon. My name is Dan Driscoll. My partner is Zara Stedman. I'm a former college soccer coach and also founded City FC, which is a nonprofit in D.C. that provides outreach soccer and academic tutoring. So I've got a question for you. If eBay and Craigslist are perfect, why is your home, your closet, your garage still full of junk that you've been meaning to sell for months? Requip is fixing that. We're a mobile marketplace that is vertically focused on buying, selling, and renting sports gear. We make it simple and easy to pull out your phone and within 90 seconds have your item for sale with geotagged listings, mobile payments, and best of all, no anonymity on the site. No more flaky sellers because we integrate with Facebook and with your SMS so we know you're a real human being and who your friends are. It's $150 billion in sporting goods sold every year. 1 to 3 billion is sold in used gear in the U.S., and mobile marketplaces mobile commerce was $8 billion this past year. It's expected to quadruple by 2017. I look forward to your comments. Thank you.
Great. Nice job. Start here.
Absolutely. So they gave us 30 seconds extra last time. So basically, we're starting in Austin, Texas, focused on cycling and triathlons because we see that as a great market opportunity and a good fit for the location. Cyclists are tinkerers, the margins are high, and we've done crazy validation this past weekend and in the time leading up to it.
Great. Jim and Gabriella.
I think a couple questions that come to my mind. One is understanding kind of the initial market you're going after, and how are you going to create sort of, what advantage do you have? I mean, so I want to hear a little bit more about what's differentiated and how are you going to get going to get that mass of users, kind of using it, and then, really you're doing this marketplace play where you need to aggregate all these users together. And I think the other thing that came to mind was, aside from sort of being able to capture the things that are, in your closet, through your mobile device, the fact that it was mobile wasn't as obvious, kind of what was unique about that.
So first of all, we find that clubs and organizations, by converting their leadership, we're able to convert hundreds with a few emails and in-person exchanges. And with regard to inventory and going beyond the closets, our real target is to become the search bar for finding sports equipment, whether it's e-commerce, brick and mortar, or peer-to-peer. And we do that. We've signed 2 more shops just yesterday, and we go store to store. Lots of independent shops don't have the resources to have online inventory, so they love us. They love the idea that it's no risk, and we just take a 10% transaction fee.
Work that into your pitch. Some good stuff there.
I was about to say, I don't know how you make money, so it sounds like consumer, and you'd be better off going with an accelerator that's more consumer focused than we are. But it sounds like your vision is actually leading more to B2B. So.
Yeah, we're sort of in that double space because what we're really trying to do is take that cognitive dissonance that all shoppers have when they go and they buy something new, wondering if an item that was just as good was around the corner for maybe a little bit of use.
That's great. Give him a hand. Good job. All right. So again, let's keep in mind, would you have this founder join your accelerator?
Okay. We have to give an answer.
You have to give an answer. I mean, good feedback on the pitch, but would you have him join your accelerator? All right, after you.
All right, my name is Nick Gartman, and Tapper is improving your nightlife experience using mobile ordering and free drinks. So everyone knows that bars are hectic and inefficient, and we're solving that by letting you order on your phone and using our unique system for pairing drinks with the people who ordered them. So all you have to do is pull out your phone, place an order on the bar's menu, and the bartender gets a notification on an iPad behind the bar. And then while you're dancing, they make the drink, and when it's done, your pocket buzzes, and all you have to do is walk up to the bartender, right past the line, show him your phone, grab your drink in a matter of seconds, and walk away. There's no waiting in line. There's no trying to yell over the din of the bar. And most of all, there's no trying to close your tab at the end of the night. So we've been bootstrapping this out of Milwaukee for 8 months with a team that we make our day job money by building prototypes for other startups in the Milwaukee community. But after doing 50 customer interviews this weekend, we want to give this segment the attention it deserves. Thanks.
Great. Well done. So we'll have Gabriella start. We'll go through, and then we'd love to hear your feedback.
Again, very consumer focused, which isn't really our focus. And that's a really, really tough market. Customer acquisition cost is insane if you're doing independent restaurants. We always look at the team before we look at the idea. So even if I think the idea is crap, but I love the team, I'll be like, your idea is going to change anyways. So yeah, it's really hard with just a quick pitch.
Okay. Jim?
I mean, definitely echo what Gabriella said. I think the market you're going after, the restaurants, the bars, we've seen a lot of ideas of that over the years. So therefore, you're also a little bit penalized by all the applicants from the past. So therefore, immediately we're like, oh, how's this different from any of the other ideas? And we've had a couple of companies that have targeted that market, and one has broken through, but it's very hard. So, if you want an answer, I'd probably have to lean towards no. But again, our process would spend a lot more time with you to learn more about the team and kind of your plans.
Yeah, we totally agree. We're a little iffy about all the dead companies we see on the road as we're walking by them. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Reflect what everyone else said here is, unfortunately, local is not a space that venture capitalists are really investing money in. So my advice to you would be to bootstrap this company for as long as you can and get to significant traction. And the math that you got to make this business work is the math between your ASP, your churn rate, your cost of sales, and your sales cycle, right? And essentially, if you have a salesperson making X dollars, how do you make that salesperson profitable, and how long does it take to get that person profitable? Right? And you got to be the first salesperson and pretend you're paying yourself X dollars and go out and make that math work.
Or our 2 sales co-founders. But yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Great job. All right, we have 2 more next teams. Is that right? Okay. Great. And 2 founders.
All right. Tag teaming it.
All right, guys.
Okay, we're Digital Tip Jar, and we're generating new revenue for performers through a platform that enables electronic tipping.
People don't carry cash, but they always have their cell phones in their pockets. And people want the instant gratification that comes from giving a tip to a performer live. We call these people micro-patrons.
Last year, I did a recording for a band that we put online and sold for $5 a download. Only managed to sell 4 copies. Last week, that same band got on Digital Tip Jar. Within 48 hours, they raised over $3,000 from their fans. And as a thank you, they're sending a free recording. And now they're connected through a deep sense of gratitude that isn't cultivated through ordinary transactions.
So we came to South by Southwest. We were able to try Digital Tip Jar at ACL with Bootsy Collins. We learned a lot. We learned a lot through this program, and now what we want to do is take what we've learned and actually build this product out, because this came out of a hackathon, actually, and we just actually have been bootstrapping this with no money up to this point.
Great job. William?
I don't have enough information to say yes, so it'll have to be a no for now, but I would like to talk. More questions, but he's kind of being mean about making me say yes or no.
Yeah.
That's all right. You told us not to join anyone anyways.
Touche. Fair enough. My question then would be, I would like you guys to do a little more homework on market sizing, on the potential opportunity, right? Typically, venture capitalists are looking for billion-dollar ideas. I want you to bottoms up and figure out how many independent bands are out there, how many gigs do they play, how much donation or tips can they get per gig, and play that out across the U.S. on a monthly basis.
Okay. Jim?
Yeah, I think similarly, I mean, the music space, that's a challenging one. And again, we've seen lots of applications in that area. of course, anytime you give the example of the $3,000, all right, that's going to get me wanting to learn more. Would have also loved to have heard more about your team. So
we have 60 seconds.
I know. And we're being forced to say yes or no. So, but I think those are main things that I would say. I mean, again, it's I also echo what Will said.
So just quick about the team is Patrick's a musician. He actually is the customer. We have 2 software developers who built this at the first ever Super Bowl hackathon. I actually produced the Super Bowl hackathon, and I work as a manager and start tech companies. And so our team kind of has all the bases covered.
Okay. And I'd want to hear it tied into sort of a bigger vision. So what can this become? So let's say you're successful with this. You can, get this out in the market and monetize it. What does that set you up for to become,
So it basically is Kickstarter built around a live event. All right, okay. So you're at everybody goes to all these live events. Kickstarter's starting to lose its popularity with people. It's starting to get played out. And so this says, hey, look, right now, this is a Kickstarter just for right now. Whoever tips the most right now gets to come backstage after the show. You get different packages, just like Kickstarter. That's what we see as the big vision. Kickstarter, no one thought would be as big as it is, and they raised $300 million last year.
Okay.
Gabriella.
So I wouldn't be able to help sitting down with you guys and talk to you about what you're doing and kind of get the feel for, how married are you to the exact way you're doing things, and what kind of pivots would you consider? Because there's some really interesting stuff in what you're doing, and you guys seem like an interesting team. I mean, you're just cool. That's awesome hair, dude.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah. So I would probably say, well, what do you think about this idea or this idea, and have you considered talking to people about that and get you doing more customer development? Because this is going to be a really tough market to crack.
Right, and that's something that we tested one of our customer markets out. We thought, hey, look, let's tie it to a nonprofit, and that's what we did at the Bootsy Collins show. We're like, hey, now Bootsy is raising money for this nonprofit, and it failed. We thought it was going to work. It didn't actually raise a ton of money. So
great, nice job, guys. Well done. All right, the final next team.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, it should be on.
Hello. Hey, Gabriella, guys. So Scott and I spent the past 5 years building a B2B company in the enterprise software space, and one of the ways that we did that or made it successful is we set up a referral program. And what we did is we gave our partners basically recurring commissions on business they referred to us. Well, it ended up being a nightmare to manage, right? We tried spreadsheets, we tried affiliate tracking software, we went back to the spreadsheets. We couldn't figure it out. It just took us too much time. And in the end, our partners were referring customers to us, right? And we were just dropping the ball. We weren't getting commission checks out to them fast enough, and they lost interest, right? So what we did is we built SalesGust. And what SalesGust does is it basically automates the accounting and essentially enables us to be more transparent. So we provide the partners with a dashboard they can log into. They can track the referrals after they hand it off to us. And in the end, what we've been able to do in the last 3 months, our referral revenue has doubled, and we've grown our partnerships by 40%. Now we want to help other B2B companies do the same thing.
Great, well done. Gabriella.
Oh, that's an easy yes.
Yes.
It fits
We've
us
heard a resounding yes. Getting into accelerators is tough, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously you got to do diligence on the people. You guys could be axe murderers, I don't know. But in the end, the fact that you guys had the problem and you solved it for yourselves, and then you realized that, gosh, we're not the only ones, I mean, that's a perfect startup story. Solve your own problem. And actually go out there. The customer development part is, hey, let's make sure that other people have this problem too, and it's so painful that they're willing to pay to have it done. And since this is something that you're being accretive to their top line revenue, generally with partners, I'm guessing that's what most of it is, you're just giving them free revenue, then that's kind of a no-brainer.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think top level answer would be yes. I think the things I would dig in on more is understanding the company. You led off by talking about a company that you guys started 5 years ago. So is this the company you're pitching, or is it a different company? And I try to understand that a little bit more. And then probably dig in a little bit more to understand, all right, what's really unique about what you're doing, and then what are your prospective customers doing today? So without you, how are they solving it today? So. And figure out how you play into that.
Yeah. Do you want me to address that real quick? Can I do that?
Well, let me have
William
do it, and then we'll have you address it.
Sure. Well, we actually do this with a lot of companies. We see an entrepreneur with interesting germination of idea, and we start building out the additional dots and the lines to kind of create the whole picture. And then we ask the entrepreneur, we love your idea, we like this slight pivot, and if you want to do this pivot, which is completely up to you, we'll take you, right? And this is the case. What we believe is that the bigger problem here is not you're a startup trying to manage your reseller channel or your referral channel. It is how do you find your value-added reseller network? How do you find your referral network? Right? And if you're able to build a marketplace approach and really find niches where you can find fragmented sales channels that's desperate for certain products and technology, that would be a good wedge point to actually enter the market.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say for us, our primary goal is get to revenue really fast. So for us, that's a second phase approach, or building the marketplace, as you say, because you're totally right. That is a problem that I think that we could solve down the road. To answer your question, no, this business is a spin-off. It's a new product that we're building right now. So yeah, it's completely separate.
Great. Nice work.
Thanks.
Great job.
All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Brian, and my company is Screenland. And basically what we are is we are a finance and distribution platform for film and series content. And basically what that is we take a robust crowdfunding platform and we merge it with a DRM-free distribution network. So we basically are selling, financing the films on the site, and we're distributing them afterward on the same site as a direct sales channel to consumers. So the main benefit is that it's a sales-driven business. It's like all direct sale. Most of the revenue is direct sales to consumers. We already had one movie that we released through the sales channel, so everything is working pretty well. It was comparable to a reasonable-sized independent film as far as distribution goes for the niche documentary that it was. And we're basically just looking forward to having a service that enables independent filmmakers, producers, and sort of film. And film fans themselves to actually purchase the films on site in a DRM-free consumer thing that they enjoy.
Nice work. All right. So here with William.
The answer would be a no. The question here for me is, it sounds like you're trying to build your own direct-to-consumer distribution model. You should really think about VOD, Netflix, Boxy, blah, 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 blah. It's already hard enough to build yourself a B2B business. To build a B2B and a B2C business where you need to reach significant scale, maybe 10 million subs, quote unquote, that you can actually sell a movie into or a TV series into, it's almost an impossible task.
Did you want to say anything before we moved on?
No, I mean, I think that we found that it was, that the movie that we did sell did pretty well for a documentary of its size, so I think that it's not necessarily impossible, it may be difficult, and I think that the marketing, the continual sort of building of the channel from crowdfunding to distribution, I think, is a contiguous sort of thing which helps out with sales and building a community of people who are interested in it going forward, and sort of just keeping that connected, I think, helps out in sales.
Good. Jim?
I mean, I think Will really captured it well in terms of the sort of the breadth of what you're trying to do. I think as I was listening for it, I mean, I don't know the economics of that industry as well, so I would want you to probably educate me a little bit more on that and to try to understand why what you're doing might be possible and how to disrupt it. So I think that was one thing that I was sort of struggling with, because I was kind of trying to hear that, that really clear, okay, here's what's wrong and here's how we're going to change it, as opposed to kind of, it was more of kind of what you're doing. So,
okay. Gabriella.
So I wouldn't really know exactly which questions to ask, but we have a mentor who started the Crowdfunding Association in the U.S., and I'd probably say, hey, Chris, will you go talk to this guy and tell me if there's anything that, should we continue here? We use our mentor network quite a bit for that. Yeah. So.
Okay, cool. Any final thoughts?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, next Steve. Wow. Hey, guys. Yeah. Hey, doing well. Yeah.
All right, hey, so my name is Danny, and I'm a designer, and this is my developer, Austin. We've been working together for about 2 years now. But in the past 8 months, we've been working in our spare time on something called BlogMate. I've found that when I read. I do a lot of online reading, and I really wanted something that really made the reading experience a lot better. Being able to highlight and annotate articles, being able to search through those annotations, being able to see what other people are reading, stuff like that. So basically that's what BlogMate is. It lets you save articles, highlight, annotate them, mark them up, tag them, be able to search through all those highlights. And yeah, that's basically what we built.
Great. Gabriella?
I think without a bigger vision, there are a lot of things out there that are very, very similar. So unless I knew that there was a bigger vision and, of course, that you were making money off of businesses, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the sort of longer timeline is being able to see what other people have been reading, like in the same article. Like if all of us shared the same article, being able to see what everyone else has been highlighting and annotating and be able to sort of network and leverage what sort of everyone else has been sort of doing in that space. So it's kind of the longer vision.
Yeah, I think the other thing I was wanting to hear more of is I would have wanted to hear more about, okay, where you're at, maybe what results you've gotten. That would, I kind of start off as more skeptical, and I would need that data to swing me over. I think the other thing is, especially since what you're really doing is trying to solve a problem, for an end user consumer, I also want to hear how this taps into, I don't know, some real basic core need. I kind of feel like a lot of times there's, I think you've heard about, the 7 deadly sins or something like that. I feel like, do something, you've got to tap into that and really try to tie it to that. See, okay, what is this really going to get for me? So.
Is this a plugin?
No, it's a web application. We also have like browser plugins and like bookmarklets and stuff like that.
Okay, so the answer is no, and it's my standard response, right? For consumer products, distribution, getting to scale on the user side is extremely hard, and sometimes kind of capturing lightning in the bottle. So what have you guys done, and what do you guys plan to do to make it a science rather than pure luck, to acquire millions of users?
Yeah. Any final thoughts, guys?
No, I think that's it. All right, thank you.
Good man.
Thanks.
Good job, guys. All right, a few more teams. We have just a few minutes left.
2 more after this one.
2 more.
Hi, I'm Yanis. I'm with Flexi. And just a question for the audience. How many of you prefer typing on a laptop rather than a smartphone? So we think we've solved this problem. And to show it, I'm going to type a text without looking at the screen.
Deleted I. A. Revolutionary. Keyboard. Technology. Period.
That's it. So we've made a keyboard technology that allows you to type without even looking. We've made it to have 0 learning curve, so everybody can use it. We launched it on iOS as an app to trial it about 6 months ago. We've had very good traction there. We're now working with hardware and software partners to integrate it into the next generation of hardware and software to come. So it's a licensing business model. We have a team that has experience in the space. My co-founder has been in the keyboard space and had a good exit in the past. And we're looking for you to join us.
Great.
Well, Dallas is it's pretty much the telecom capital of the world, so we're right in the middle of it, and that's interesting stuff that people are looking for. Obviously, competition in that space.
Absolutely. So there are many players in that space. So Swipe is probably our biggest competitor. Some of you may be familiar with them. We've tried really hard to have no learning curve, unlike a lot of the other players in the market, so that we have higher adoption rate. But Swipe, even with quite a low adoption rate, they exited for $100 million to Nuance last year. So we feel we have something that is better and easier for customers to adopt.
I mean, if you were playing, I definitely would have to take you seriously because I think there's some technology there, and you spoke to some traction of where you're at. Maybe I missed something. I wasn't quite sure what you were doing, so I think that kind of threw me off because I was trying to figure out, were you looking at something, what you're doing? And,
Sorry, 60 seconds. So I just type normally on a QWERTY keyboard, and the voice is just because it's difficult to show to an audience, but basically it just reads back what it corrected me to. So when I'm not looking at it, I obviously hit all the wrong letters. Sometimes I will even miss the keyboard. Our technology is smart enough to understand that and correct you successfully.
Okay.
If you can actually accomplish what you claim you do, then the answer is yes. But the diligence cycle will be super long, right? Because what we need to do is figure out, given the correct sample size of users, can you achieve the right fidelity of data input and the right customer satisfaction, and then the delta between what we have today, what might be good enough, to what you have right now that needs to be a lot better than just good enough.
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. Thank you. We benchmark against other keyboard technologies, and we exceed accuracy both in the normal scenario where somebody is looking, but also we allow people to, when they type a lot faster, make more mistakes. So either they pick up speed or comfort or both. And that's what we benchmark ourselves against. We have hundreds of thousands of downloads on iOS and very good reviews on the App Store. I think we're either solid 5 stars or 4.5 with thousands of reviews. So we feel we're getting good feedback from the market, but then we're still working very aggressively to continue innovating.
Good, and positive feedback from the group, which is nice. So well done.
Thanks.
Thank you. Good job. All right, 2 groups left. Wow. Come on up. Great shirt.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Carter, and I'm one of 3 founders of Obtain. We're a location-based mobile application that is consolidating the entire online presence of a location in one app. So for instance, we're here at the Hilton. You open our app, and you have instant access to the Hilton's Facebook, Foursquare, Yelp, Google+, Instagram, LinkedIn, website, and more. This allows a business to quickly engage a customer while they're in their location. The customer is most likely to engage and interact with the business while they're at their location. They're more likely to share, like, retweet, follow, and become a fan of a business while they're in their location. One thing we're also doing is allowing a customer or user to favorite a place under their Me tab, and by doing so, they can access that business wherever they're at. We're also making this Me tab, you can break it into categories, city by city, bars, nightlife, and so forth. This list then can be shareable.
Great. William?
Again, simply just based on this pitch so far, the answer would be a no. In local and mobile, aggregation is not a value proposition that changes user behavior. We've seen that over and over again. So what you really need to do is find 1 or 2 features that gets people to A, create word of mouth, and B, engage with the platform over a 60-day period on at least every other day.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to have heard, I think maybe a more specific use case. I mean, I think it was, I think what you described was a little bit more feature-driven. So if you can be more specific about the problem you're trying to solve, say, for the Hilton here. And also, I think, from a user standpoint, kind of, why would they do it? And maybe that would then suggest to, is your strategy really going to get a lot of consumers, or is it really a B2B play to go after the different event locations?
Okay.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff out there similar, trying to do a lot of other things. And so we have one of our mentors in the group, and anytime that there's something that just seems kind of similar to a bunch of other groups, he says, show me your talking dog. You've got this thing, and okay, whatever, great, but show me the talking dog,
right.
Because people look at talking dogs. But something like this, why would I ever download the app? Yeah, I can understand why the restaurants and the hotels want me to download the app, but why the hell do I care?
Okay.
Any final thoughts?
Nope, thank you.
Okay, well done. All right, last but hopefully not least.
Hi. All right, my name is Stefan Broda, and I'm founder of Before We Do, where we empower all singles in the United States to manage their sexual health at home. And we do this 2 ways. 1, an anonymous mobile interface that connects you with a counseling app that, without any judgment, completely anonymous, helps you understand your sexual health risk based on your demographic and your sexual activities. And then on the business side, we automatically deliver you in-home test kits for the STDs right at the time when it's time again to responsibly test again. So STD market is a $10 billion market, and we're focusing on women in their 20s and 30s, single women, and men who have sex with men, which are most affected by the dangers of the diseases. So the team right now, I just graduated from Founder Institute in Silicon Valley, so I'm growing the team. I have founded dating my first user who sent me a proposal to join the team, and I have advisors in psychiatry and in HIV specialty.
Great. We'll have Gabriella go first. She has a sex vertical, which we didn't hear from her yet, so you can take it away.
Do I?
Wonderful.
That's the secret one. Yeah, no, actually we are starting a healthcare accelerator in the fall, so this is something that would fit really well with that, and it's really interesting. I like the angle. It's something that's very much needed, and I can think of lots and lots of ways to get it out there. So
Fantastic.
yeah, we'd want to know more about you, of course, but yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, you'll wow us, right?
I mean, in terms of getting attention, right? I was already intrigued as you were walking up because I'm reading your T-shirt and going, all right, this is going to be interesting. You know, the thing I would definitely, be very interested in learning more because I've never heard I haven't heard this, so therefore it's unique. And then you went in, you made a transition. You kind of got my attention, talking about managing sexual health, but then you went into the business part and started talking about the market and making a case for it. So very strong. So
I think one thing you guys can take away from this is that the panelists all have very similar pattern recognition kind of skill sets, and VCs all look at the world in the same way. So learn from the way that these guys are really pitching their business, getting attention, moving down to being serious, right? And then looking for white spaces, right? If you have to talk to someone about my business, my company is better than someone else's because X, Y, and Z, maybe you're just not going to be able to differentiate yourself far enough for what the competitor is. And in this case, we all like the business, right?
Thank you very much.
That's great. Well done.
Any questions about sexual health? Okay, maybe not.
Great job. All right, so to close it out, I'm going to have each one of the panelists just tell us if people here want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you? So Gabriella.
Email gab@techwildcatters.com. That's the best way.
Great. Yeah. Email jjen @alphalab.org.
I can't break the pattern here, so it's william@muckerlab.com. And actually, my email address is on our website, MuckerLab.com. So if you happen to forget, just go to the website. I get a lot of emails, but I answer every single one.
That's great. And I'm Pat@Gan.co. And just so you know, our managing directors are really lonely, and they like to drink a lot. So if you are in one of their areas, call them up because they need friends, and they need friends like people like you. Friends and hugs they like a lot. So make sure to call them up when you're in the area. So thank you everybody for coming, and we'll see you soon.